Mm. Hey guys, it's me, Kinghuman, and as you can see, I'm back from Maui, back at my desk. Was a great trip, fantastic time. I'm really considering moving to Maui. Of course, everybody does. But I want to continue, now that I'm back home, I want to continue our conversations that we've been having. I call them, conversations I would have with my best buddy, as if I was sitting down with you at lunch and giving you my best advice as somebody who's been there, done that, and gone from a nobody truck driver to somebody that's achieved a certain level of success and can speak from experience. I'm an old geezer. You know, when people get to be old, they have a lot of experiences in life. And if they're smart, they learn from them and benefit from them. So what I want to do is I want to take my life experience and give it to you so that you don't have to learn by experience. You don't have to learn from the school of hard knocks. You can take the benefit of the knowledge that I'm giving you by being somebody who's gone through the school of hard knocks and learned it. I can just hand it over to you and you can benefit from it. Now, in the previous videos, I talked a lot about how we've been programmed from birth not to achieve success, but to achieve a level of competency that gets us a JOB, which stands for just over broke. You don't go to high school and find courses on how to be a multimillionaire. You don't go to court, you just don't find that kind of thing. We've been programmed to be cogs in a machine, batteries in the matrix, because that's what society needs. You know, it's a giant ant colony that we're in. And the majority of what an ant colony needs to survive is soldier ants. They don't need king ants and queen ants, you know. There's only a couple of those. The majority are worker ants that have to go out and do the menial labor and the shit jobs to keep this giant colony, or in our case society, going. So how do we get out of this programming? First of all, we have to recognize that we need to get out of the programming that we're in. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. It's kind of an analogy. First, I want to tell you the analogy, and then I want to dissect it and put it in perspective, because it might make a lot of sense to you as to exactly what's going on here. So I'm in Hawaii, and I'm sitting in this building, I forget where it was, and there's this glass window, right? And there's a fly going into the glass. He just keeps flying at that glass. You know, here's the sheet of glass and here's the fly. He keeps hitting it, he keeps going after it, and then he's right up against it and he's just, bzzz, he is just working as hard as he can to get through that clear glass. And he doesn't understand, he doesn't have the capacity to understand that there's no way he's going to get through that barrier. He doesn't even understand why he's not able to get where he wants to go in life. Starting to see the analogy yet? He is using all of his energy to try and fly through that transparent sheet. It's a transparent barrier. He has no idea what it is. He sees where he wants to go. He can't get there. Now, I'm looking down at this fly because right next to him is an open window. And he can't get that through his head. That if he just moved over a little bit to the right, he'd be able, if he just made an end run, he would be able to go after all of the things he wanted in life. All of the things that he sees through that transparent glass window that really is available to him, but he can't get there because of this invisible barrier that's holding him back. Then I look down at the windowsill, and there are all these dead flies there. Flies that spent their entire life trying to get through that invisible barrier, and they used all their energy buzzing at that window until they exhausted themselves, fell down, and died in the window. Now, a few flies that got lucky or were smart or whatever, buzzed their way to the edge of the window and went around, and boom, they were free. So let's dissect that analogy, because it's really interesting. It's really an accurate analogy of how we are in society. You know, so many of us have these crap jobs where we can't get what we want in life. We are the fly against that window. We can see better opportunities out there for us, but we, for whatever reason, can't get to them because of an invisible barrier. Now, for most of us, that invisible barrier is our programming. What we have been programmed with since birth, telling us what we cannot achieve. And all of those inbred programmings, all of those negative inputs that you've heard from teachers and from your parents and from whoever, your friends who have told you what you cannot do, they become self-limiting behaviors. Believe it or not, the more you hear this limited programming stuff, oh, you can't do that, you'll never do that. Hey, I want to go into business A, B, and C. Oh, that'll never work. You can't do that. The more you hear those things, the more they become self-fulfilling prophecies, and you're a fly on the window. You are self-limiting at that point. You might consciously think, oh, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try for it. But deep in your psychological makeup, because you've heard what you cannot do for so long, you don't do it. You give it a half-assed effort, or you don't do it at all. You just kind of give up. You have to commit to your success 110%. You have to, like that fly on the window, you're going to run into that barrier. And what you have to do is make an end run around it. Find where that hole is and get there and go through it so that you can get what you want out of life. Now, psychiatrists say that our self-image makes up 99% of who we are. So if your self-image has been made up of all this negative input, you can't do this, you'll never achieve that, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, you're whatever. Deep inside, you're starting to believe this as you grow, and you hang on to it, and you build a core around this core of negativity that is self-limiting. So you have to reprogram yourself so that you can enable yourself enough to think, wow, I'm on the fly on the window, but I know there's a way around it. I know I can get what I want. You can't be a stupid fly and just continue to hit the same point in the window over and over again expecting a different result. You have to go all around that window and explore. Maybe over here there's an open window. So you have to, what I'm getting at is you have to change your perspective. And for a lot of people, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to change your path in life. It's not easy to make an end run around the barriers that are holding you back. And when I talk about barriers that are holding you back, in previous videos I talked about the people that are around you that are toxic. You have to get away from them. You have to stop that negative input from impacting you in a negative way. And the only way to do that is to get away from that toxic input. You need to be around people that are like-minded. You need to be around people that will motivate you and encourage you and empower you to a better life. It's that simple. That's one of the major steps you need to take so that you don't die one of these pathetic flies on the windowsill who saw a better life but could never achieve it because they didn't have the capacity to get around that window. You have to get around that window in life. There are going to be barriers to everything you do, but you shouldn't be self-limiting. That's the most tragic thing there is is when I see somebody not achieving their potential because they've been programmed to be self-limiting. It's tragic to me. It really is tragic. So anyway, I hope this analogy made a little bit of sense to some of you people. But, you know, that's just kind of the way I think. I see these things. And I draw these corollaries because, I mean, this poor fly, you know, this poor fly has the right to a better life. And it's within his grasp. He just doesn't know how to get there. So get all the training you can and learn how to reprogram your brain first of all. Go out there, Google search psychological reprogramming, you know, positive reinforcements for your psychological makeup. You know, go study psychology. It's really going to help you in all things you do in life. I don't care if you want better relationships, if you want to make a gazillion dollars, whatever your goals are in life, understanding your own psychology is going to be the best first step towards getting there. So I hope I can encourage some of you people to take some of the time you've allotted to television or playing video games or whatever in the hell it is you do to distract you from how miserable your life is, and reinvest that time into learning about psychology and your own psychological makeup, because that's going to lead you where you need to go. It's a first step. Then we'll talk about other methods, other steps, but please invest in yourself, because once you understand that you don't have to be that fly on the window, once you give yourself permission to be successful in life, things start to change for you. All right, guys, I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't drone on too much, but, you know, we'll get into more of it later on. And cheers, maximum respect, and don't be a fly on the window, man. That's a sucky life. I've been there, done that, and I don't wish it on anybody. Donate a few bucks to help a sick kid at St. Jude's Research Hospital for Kids. Cheers.